Alright guys, so I hope you're doing okay. We're going to do two things today. One is solving quadratic equations by factoring. So you would start with a quadratic equation, get the factors, okay? In this case, this would be the quadratic equation already factored. Okay, so we factor the trinomial, and now we're going to set each of the factors. You know, factoring means we already did the AC equals to B, and this was our answer. Okay, once we get the answer, we're going to set each equal to 0 to find the zeros. Okay, so this would be minus 5 to solve for x. So my x would be negative 5, and this would be plus 3, and x will equal positive 3. So those are the two roots, or two solutions, or two solutions, roots, x-intercepts, or zeros. Okay, so this one, the original equation was x squared plus 2x minus 15. Okay, so that's how we got the 5 and the negative 3. From there we factored it, and we got these two factors. To check your work, you can use the calculator. So let me clear this up really quick. Okay, so to use the calculator, we are going to go to graph. Okay, you can graph the original quadratic equation. And here it is, and then you can get your zeros. Here's one and here's the other to double check your work here. So if I go to menu, analyze, and 0, I can get my zeros here. There's a 1, which is negative 5, which is this one, so that's correct. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to check this one right here. And it's going to be positive 3, 0, which is this one. So now I know that I did my work correctly. Okay, so that's one part of the notes. I'm going to switch it over to the other side. The other part of the notes is solving the square roots, or solving the quadratic equations using square roots. Okay, so how or when do you use this? So just like your notes say, when to solve this way. When the equation has an x squared term, which this one has a y squared, right? And it has a constant term. So like the square and the constant. In other words, there is no b. Okay, so this one qualifies. There's no b here. Alright, so the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to write the equation so that it looks like that. In other words, we want to isolate the squared variable so that we can solve for it. So here I'm going to use my my inverse operations to move all the constants to one side first. So plus 16. And again, my goal is to have y squared alone here so that I can use square root in a second. So divided by 9. And don't be afraid of fractions. You cannot simplify this one. To get rid of the square, we do the opposite, which is square root. If we square root, these two cancel out. Okay, that's why it's called solving by square roots. Back in the fall, whenever we did this, I taught you that this could also be broken into two radical signs. Okay? Now, if you don't know how to do that, you can also use your calculator to help you out with it. So your square root is right here. So you would do control and then this button. It'll give you the square root. Once in there, you can do control and the divide to give you the fraction. And then you would press 16 and 9. Enter will give you 4/3. The same thing that it will give us here. Okay? So the only difference is when you answer, you will not have an equal sign. Because with square roots, if this was positive or if it was negative, they would both give you the same thing back. Okay? Kind of like if you multiply 2 squared, it will give you 4. And also if you multiply negative 2 and square it, you would also get positive 4. Okay? So when you square root that, you could either have a positive or a negative and still get the same result. So that's why when we do this, we are going to say that there are 2 roots. One is positive and one is negative. Okay? Because when we're missing the b, our axis of symmetry is 0. So that means that this parabola, right, crosses at 0, which means the axis of symmetry is 0. Okay? Which means that the roots are going to be symmetrical because it's cut right in half at the y-axis. Okay? So your answer would be a plus or a minus 4/3.